Okay.
All right,
we're
everybody.
back.
Yeah, thank you for joining us and bearing with us through some of those small technical problems here. We are back. We are just about to jump into the second map of Lijiang Tower as the first one is wrapping up. And it looks like we did have a bit of a Reinhardt and versus the Orisa here.
No, we had Ursa, so I think for most of the round, and I am looking forward to what we're gonna see on the next maps.
Yeah.
We'll
Okay, moving on to the next map now.
I wonder if we'll stick to Ursa on the gardens, or if we're gonna see something else here.
I'm curious, what do you think is going to be complementing the Sojourn on these teams right now? We saw the traces come out kind of in the overtime pushes, but here's starting fresh on, I believe this is not Guard. It's Guard. No, it's Night Market. It's starting fresh on Night Market. Yeah, what do you expect to complement some Sojourn?
Gigachads are a good first shout, but also Reapers in this meta are still pretty good. And obviously, if you have good tracer, it could be a tracer meta as well.
Yeah, it looks like Team Void is going to be hovering over this pseudo dive comp. But now we have H Mark 1 going on over to the Pharah, and on the side of Gigachads, it looks like they'll be running something similar with a Pharah of their own.
Yeah, this is not a bad Pharah map, as we have no parent switching to ball, and this 2021 kind of never mind. I was gonna say this somewhat resembles a 2021 meta comp where the
Shanghai Dragons comp,
the
right?
Shanghai Dragons, yeah, with the ball and the Pharah Tracer.
We saw a team break that out on during our last scrim block as well, right?
Yeah, I believe it was Big C. Although it could be Couch Potatoes, and I'm just
no,
not
it was
remembering.
Big C.
It was okay.
I know they were talking about how the Wrecking Ball has a bit of trouble with the uptime, so it looks like we might be seeing these Pharah compositions roll out with an Orisa instead. Orisa with receiving some buffs recently, being able to have a lot more uptime on the spear, a lot more uptime on the spin, being able to be in the fight much longer than a Wrecking Ball can.
For sure. It's a bit of an Ursa domination kind of in the meta right now. Not entirely, there's still some Hog and Ram played, but it's mostly Orisa, I would say. And
it's
yes,
it's a bit of a horse race, if you will.
True. The horsey do be good right now. But I'm curious to see if we'll see anything else, as we do have Hog coming out. So they're kind of teasing us with a lot of stuff here, Gigachads. As we actually are starting off on the Hog from the Gigachads side.
We're seeing both teams roll out. We're seeing both teams roll out here in a bit of a neutral way. No Lucios, no Sim TPs, no funny business. As we're gonna have Silence and H Mark 1 dueling in the skies. H Mark 1 takes one Pharah shot. It's gonna take 2 directs in a row there to knock that Pharah out of the sky with a Mercy Pocket. But H Mark 1 eating both directs in a row. As I say that,
there could be a res coming out here. Is he in a safe spot? I don't know.
No, it does look like Gigachads have moved in to be able to deny that position, deny that res. As I say that, there's a res for the side of Gigachads, bringing that Tracer back into the fight.
Yeah, a very quick fight here from Gigachads to win it out. Just 2 picks, starting it off. Pharah just goes down in the beginning of the fight. I'm not sure what happened there.
It was the little Pharah 1v1. Unfortunately, it looked like it was Silence getting the better of that first Pharah 1v1, as we have Anarchy for the side of Void making his way in, trying to find some space for Steam. He finds that first hook onto No Parents, isn't able to follow up on it, and now No Parents getting a hook of his own onto the tanks. Both these Hogs just kind of playing around with each other a bit, as now we also have dueling Pharahs as well. Silence forced to take a bit of a back seat here, as we have Anarchy taking down No Parents, but Jesus for the side, or Jess for the side of Gigachads answering back. But now it's going to be Void up with with a 5-4 advantage. Now H-Mark1 making that a 5-on-3 as it looks to be clean up here for Void.
Yeah, Void making their way onto the point here, and they do take the fight. As both teams will have both DPS ults. Going into the next fight, the dangerous one being the Pharah ult.
Silence is coming in hot over the top there, but it's H-Mark1 who barrages first, isn't able to find much, but he is able to survive that barrage. That's a big accomplishment for any Pharah. But now we're going to have no Tracers in this fight, both going down to the Roadhogs. And we got Silence taking back the advantage in the Pharah 1v1, giving his team that extra space now. And a Silence now with a barrage of his own is able to find the Mercy, but will give his life for it. But that pick onto the Mercy seems like it's going to be just enough here for Team Void to flip the point over.
Yeah, Anarchy did go kind of crazy there in the middle of that fight, but it wasn't enough. The chaos that ensued in the main fight was a bit overwhelming for Void to take the fight away, and as Gigachads take the point.
And it will look like this map will be the story of ultimates now, as we have Gigachads sitting on 4 ultimates compared to the 3 ultimates on the side of Team Void. It's going to come down to how these teams are able to use them, and let's see what these Pharahs can get done as they're dueling out in the sky. H-Mark1 eats an early rocket on, and a Pulse Bomb comes out for Jess. Jess isn't able to find much, but no Parents able to find the mark against Anarchy there, you pulling out that whole hog early. And
yeah,
solidifying this fight for
beautiful whole hog there from No Parents, just denying the Kiriko ult and winning the fight for Gigachads. It's just amazing plays there. Azama gets 2 picks with the Mercy. What is going on there?
Leva with a bit of a late game Valk there, just cleaning up Void here as the overtime wick will dwindle down as the last few members of Void are able to get their touch in. Should be just a Tracer here, getting that final touch. Ooh, but can the Mercy come in and get much done? No, they cannot. And it should be clean up here. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And we should be moving to the 3rd and final point.
Yeah, it looks like it's a battle of hogs here, and No Parents is just coming out on top time after time. Even in the last fights, they were causing havoc in the backline of Void, and it seems to be the storyline over here in this map so far.
And No Parents are getting a lot of help there from the Kitsune Rush and from Ozone in general. The Kiriko Hog combination we've seen is so hard to kill.
Yeah, Kiriko complements Hog so well. She has the Suzu, which can not only negate Hog's biggest counter, which is Ana, with her nades and her sleeps, but also the ultimates are really good combo. Both super cheap, and it just makes for a really satisfying Hog ult, the Kiriko Rush.
It is really funny, at low ranks, people throw around that Zuzu like it does heal you. It does not do any actual healing. It might temporarily pause the incoming damage. There are some invulnerable frames there. But the cleanse is going to be the most important part of her kit there. And it looks like we are going to have possibly an Ana on the field. Ana getting a bit of love with the damage and healing buff. She honestly feels a lot better to play.
Yeah,
I don't know
for
if you've been able to pick her up with the new buff at all.
Not really. I haven't played her much, but I know she's way stronger now. It's interesting to see Ryan coming out from Void.
I would be very wary of a Ryan without a Lucio, as he can often have trouble closing the gap there, and he's often left out kind of in the middle of nowhere with almost no shield and nowhere to go. That can be a very dangerous situation for a Reinhardt.
Last time I saw Ryan on this map, we had a Symmetra. It's interesting to see. Okay, never mind. We have a Orisa.
Void. And much more what we expect here from these teams.
Yeah, Void juking us time after time again in the spawn with their tank picks. Yeah, it's just Orisa.
I'm going to have Team Void here rushing into the white room, trying to establish early dominance here onto the point, as both the Tracers are going to be treated out by the Kirikos of all heroes here. But we're going to have Silence sticking to his guns on the Pharah when H Mark 1 is swapped over to the Echo, curiously enough, and an Echo without a Mercy Pocket. And
Oh
that,
my god.
that absence of a Mercy Pocket is devastating as H Mark 1 goes down first.
Echo should be the better pick there in the Pharah versus Echo matchup, but Silence just being able to pull out a rabbit out of hat with that kill. Wow.
Silence doing a great job there, peeling for his own mercy, understanding that Llama is the dive target and able to shut down H Mark 1 before he can get anything going here.
Yeah.
Alright, now we're going to have Anarchy on the hog here. And as Team Void here tries to rush White Room once again.
Yeah, for sure. Always, it looks to be the same story here. Void tried to get out on Orisa, but the No Parents Hog just seems to shut it down, and it's forcing the swap time after time.
Silence is slowly suffocating Team Void, just pounding them from above, but it's going to be Anarchy finding the first pick for Team Void, taking down the hog. But H Mark 1 is going to be able to shut down that barrage and take out the Mercy Pocket, all in one foul swoop. And it looks like we're going to have a bit of a back and forth on the point where Team Void is going to come out on top.
Yeah, H-Mark showing why the Echo is the better one in that flying duel. Just shuts down both the pocket and the pocketed player and wins the fight. As
H Mark 1 does get a bit of a cheeky kill there with a focusing beam, but will trade his life for it, and the kill is res. It's an overall looking not too great for the team of Void. Maybe a bit of an over-aggressive play there as No Parents now marches straight on in.
Oh, he doesn't
Anarchy
get booped.
Anarchy was
close.
Anarchy was trying to at least give his team a bit of a stay of an execution here, using that whole hog. H Mark 1 now copying onto that Sojourn, trying to give his team the extra damage and the extra ability to stay on this point. But it's going to be No Parents pulling out the hog ultimate, and Jess with that overclock giving Gigachads a point.
Yeah, but they did have to use quite a bit of ults there. Both sides, actually. As we go into the next fight with only one ultimate, which is the Mercy Valk for Gigachads. Interested to see how it's going to be used here as we enter the fight.
We have Nap almost up to that beat. It is always a little bit concerning for Lucio's how many beats will you get in a single control round, but it won't matter. Anarchy takes out No Parents early on. It's going to be Team Void with that 5v4 advantage as they flip control over the point. Silence trying to get something done here on that Pharah. Anarchy not going to be able to find the mid-air hook here, as it looks like Gigachads are kind of waiting for No Parents to come back. I say that, but Jess says she's done waiting, takes out Dobin. No Parents is now back, and it's going to be a 5v4 on that point. The Valk comes out from Llama. Nap goes down with the beat in hand, not going to be available for this fight. Anarchy gets the first hook here. That first hook's the better hook. No Parents goes down. Can Llama get the res? But it's going to be Dobin with 2! Takes out the DPS of Gigachads, and it will be Team Void claiming this point.
Oh wow! I was going to make a remark of how the Silence Fire is making a good pressure, putting good pressure on Void, and even forcing Hog to look at Farah instead of focusing on the front line with his hooks. But it doesn't matter if Dobbin can get a 2k pulse bomb on both DPS.
It is interesting. Tracers tend to have a bit more of a bit more skill expression here to a bit, but in those far tracer compositions, you don't see them all the time. You'll see them a lot just poking in, trying to follow up with that far, and that far is really the star there. But Dobin coming through big for his team. Absolutely, we've seen so many pulse bombs just hit the ground, but not his. His was an absolute game winner.
What a pulse bomb. Clutch plays.
How many pulse bombs have you ever seen kill a Pharah?
Not much, that's for sure. Maybe ground Pharahs. But
the good old ground Pharah, aka
yeah.
Junkrat.
True. But I think better Pharahs tend to stick to the air most of the time.
But can a good tracer also stick to the air?
On some
No.
maps,
No.
on some maps, for example, this map, I would say there's a lot of blink spots where Tracer can get to the high ground real easily. Or maybe not easily, you have to know the spots, but there are ways.
But there are a good amount of those blink jump spots on this map to access that high ground. But it's been a long time since we've seen Tracer on this map.
That is true. I can't remember for the last time I've seen a Tracer on this map. Maybe it was Overwatch 1?
Yeah, what that 2016 dive meta where Genji Tracer is untouchable?
Maybe later, but that as well. What is that
But we
Torb
are
doing? In
that
spawn?
you know what? If
Is
I
it
had
a
answers
play?
for you, I mean, Torb is extremely hard to kill in this meta. He's a great ability. He can fend off lots of flankers. The turret can be very distracting. I don't hate the Torb pick,
We have a dance
but
party here in the corner of the spawn. The attacker spawn.
probably yeah,
By
probably just
the
looking.
party is hosted by the defenders, as they fall back now.
That Lucio escort in silence all the way back here. But like I was mentioning earlier, I mean I hate to keep talking about comps while people are in spawn because we keep getting baited. But we have a Zarya. Or a potential Zarya, I should say.
Yeah, and the Reinhardt from the other side. If only those two teams can merge, we'd have Ryan Zarya.
But it looks like it will be Team Void rolling out here on the Bastion and Orisa of all things. The Bastion complementing H Mark 1's Pharah here, and that promptly takes out that turret from Silence.
Yeah, we're still seeing the Pharah. I mean, are we gonna see this Pharah pick the whole way through?
On King's Road, there's a good chance of that, as we're gonna see No Parents and the team of Gigachads getting some opening picks, but H Mark 1 on the Pharah is here to stay, finding two of his own. And now Silence going to be without his turret, and H Mark 1 is without his Pharah.
Oh, Pharah going dangerously low, but escapes just in time. We have a very interesting position here where both teams are still struggling to come back to a point, but the fight is already going on.
Yeah, we got H Mark 1 taking out Silence on that Torbjorn. That Torbjorn stepping up a little out of position there, maybe. And then now we have Dobin staring down into this archway in that turret form. Will soon be forced back into that recon form, and that is Gigachads' sign to go. We got No Parents diving in deep here, escorted by that Lucio, who's able to take out the Bastion, but will trade his life for it. And now we have Anarchy answering back for the side of Void, trying to claim this point. They're about halfway there. They do have one tick, but now Silence on the Mei has broken this fight up, and it looks like they have sent Team Void back to the spawn room.
Yeah, it looks like No Parents pickups there in the backline kind of facilitated this. Okay.
H Mark 1 decided he wanted a quick trip back to spawn and hit that Q button. Azefara is able to find one with it, traded out pretty evenly. Nap is there on the res. This will be a 5v4 for the side of Team Void. As that second tick is claimed, No Parents has to do something, and he knows it. And it looks like Lambo's going to be the first one to touch. That poor little Lucio just staring down the barrel of a Bastion. Will not be long for this world as Team Void caps point A.
Yeah, and they didn't even have to expend much. They still have 4 ultimates to keep this card going. They can get a snowball going here. I'm interested to see. I mean, they could use literally everything to break out of this spawn hold.
And now we have that Bastion ult being used in combination with the Terror Surge, and it looks like we're gonna have almost a team kill going on to No Parents, as 4 members did participate in that elimination.
Yeah,
and now it looks like Team Void pushing up all the way to point B here, trying to secure those that early choke point.
Yeah, it looks like they only need to use 2. A combination of the Bastion ult with the Orisa ult to just get off 1 pick and win the fight real easily. As No Parents switches to Orisa, I just noticed. Mirror pick.
Yeah, we're gonna have a bit of a mirror matchup, but it's gonna be Gigachads with that Lucio on their side as we have dueling Kitsune rushes here on the point. Everybody avert your eyes. It's too hard to see. We got a barrage coming out that's met with a beat, and Nap Nap also hits the Valk. This is an ultimate party if I've ever seen one. We had the Mayall get canceled there by Anarchy, an absolute crack tank
I
player.
was so scared for Llama there. He almost Ajax. He beat it right next to the barrage. My heart dropped there for a second, but it went through in the end. So no Ajax here today.
Well, that
Just
is what a
yet.
B&B is, right? A beaten barrage.
Yeah, that's why they call it Airbnb, because the Pharah is in the air when
See,
she's
there you go,
ulti-
chat. There's your joke. There's your joke, chat. All right, we got Anarchy coming in here, trying to claim point B for the side of Void. We got Silence on that May, trying to get something going, but is helpless against that Pharah, doing work in the sky. We got Nap Nap trying to hit that res. Will be able to bring his Bastion back into the
Oh,
fight as we have a pause.
we go to a pause, yeah. As the Pharah falls for the side of Void. And it looks like a defensive hold here. Not long for not in a for a long wait. I
Yeah,
don't know
this
what
is
I'm
kind of
saying.
that's okay. We are in a kind of a tricky situation here. Um,
Yep.
we got technical difficulties on production. We got technical difficulties for the players. It's how it's gonna go.
It's an ice cream hosted in the EU, honestly.
Yeah. Yes, we have a very international cast today with an American caster in the EU league here. So there's bound to be problems, but it looks like we will be jumping back in the game in just a moment here. As you were mentioning, we have Ozone taking out the Pharah on the side of Team Void here. It looks like it will be a 5v4 for the side of Gigachads. Anarchy sprints in, hits the Terror Surge, and it looks like No Parents is just gonna face tank it with a gold of his own.
Wow,
And
very
now we have
brave play there
Bastional
from
coming
No
out from Dobin
Parents.
straight onto the cart. Isn't able to find much, but he's able to buy his team some
C9?
space. And
Wait,
it
what
looks like
happened?
it was that Bastional that bought them just enough time to tap in those last half a meter in. And now it will be Team Void marching into point C.
No way. Okay.
Bastional gets value.
It does indeed. I mean, he did get buffed. His ultimate is now faster to land, but I did not expect for everybody to leave the point from that bash
We have
note.
Anarchy maybe just line of sight in his healers, just slightly, or maybe
Oh,
not. Maybe we are back on a pause.
okay.
All right, I feel
So
like we need a like a 30-second test to be like, if you are you actually back?
yeah, for
Oh
sure. But
man,
if you look at the ultimates, oh my God. Oh, as one of the person who had an ultimate disconnects. I don't know if this is the code where you get your ultimate back, but if it is, the attacking side Void has 3 ultimates in their bank to just get the card into the checkpoint. I'm not sure if we'll get the ultimate back.
well, even if they don't, it was a far barrage, so all things considered, not the most impactful ult to lose. Where we saw the side of Gigachads already lose their May ult to Orisa, not even to lag, just straight up to the enemy tank. So we've seen ultimates are impactful in this game by all means, but a far barrage is often just a quick respawn as it so it's kind of not the end of the world here. But
I would say it's like the threat of a fire barrage is often more dangerous than the barrage itself,
I'd agree
especially
with you.
with
I'd agree
the
with you.
Orisa spins and a lot of defensive capabilities of this comp, including the Suzu, including the ice block. Uh, so I'd say I kind of agree with you there. It's not the most impactful ult to lose, but it is a ult nonetheless that might uh, might be lost here for their snowball potential.
Yeah, no, it is still one of those resources off the board there for the side of Void. It is interesting. It looks like they do want to die and live by this far though.
Yeah, maybe a one trick. I'm not sure.
I know. I feel like projectile players are just kind of one tricks at this point.
Yeah, for
There's
sure.
projectiles. There's so few of them, and there's so few projectile heroes that are really that active.
Uh, I
It
think
does seem
I
like
think I think the Mercy from Void is in chat, and they're saying that they don't one trick the Pharah. I
good.
assume is what they mean. That the Mercy
Uh,
hates playing Mercy.
yeah, it looks like Nap doesn't like the Mercy, so we will have to get them in for an interview afterwards to make sure they meow on stream, as we have all of our Mercy players do. But now we are back into game. It looks like we're gonna have Liquid coming in here as we're sorting out some tech issues. So we're gonna have a Sojourn in. A bit more of a
Oh,
traditional composition now with a player swap for the side of Team Void.
is that a sub?
Yes, it is a quick emergency
Okay.
sub here, and we got a Sojourn now. So we got a bit more of an expected comp, but it's going to be Jess opening stuff up for Gigachads on the Sojourn of their own, taking out the main tank and capping off the fight.
Okay, that DC looks to be a tide turner for Gigachads as they just get a quick and easy win with one ultimate and secure a significant ult advantage right now.
Point Cs are often the great momentum stoppers in these hybrid and payload maps. So now we're gonna have here Nap with an early Valk. Probably
Oh,
going to try
what
to
a
swap
wall!
off that soon. A beautiful wall out from Silence into the Terror Surge, but the Terror Surge isn't able to find much. Nap able to bring back Tobin back into the fight here. Team Void is at full strength, and now it's going to be Anarchy taking down the Sojourn of Gigachads. And a Kitsune rush here, and it looks like it's going to be forcing Gigachads back into their own spawn.
An interesting rush there. Oh, what a nice move. I would assume that that fight was won, but I guess they just wanted to make sure, as they have 3 ultimates remaining. This ultimate swings are like these ultimate advantages are constantly swinging back and forth.
And it looks like here, as this fight kicks off, we're going to have Dobin going for that Bastion ultimate as Anarchy goes for the Terror Surge. Neither will find much, but it will be no parents on the side of Gigachads opening up, taking out the Sojourn. That's a lot of damage missing for the side of Void here, as now the Void also loses their main tank. They're going to be 2 players down as their team resets.
No parents doesn't allow the the Kiriko to just fall to her death. Is eager to just take out her as early as possible.
He gave Charlie a warrior's death there.
Yes.
It is interesting you mentioned there the Kitsune rush being used kind of aggressively, but it was able to help the other 3 members of the team build ultimates, as Dobin goes down early after swapping to that Hanzo.
Yeah. I don't know what ultimates they will have for this recontest, or if there will be a recontest at all, as Void are just staggering.
There are 3 seconds left. Nap, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get a touch, and with that Mei ult locking everybody down, this will be where Team Void's push will stop.
Beautiful turnaround there from Gigachads. Although a bit helped by the DC and emergency sub, but a hold is a hold. Am I right?
A hold is a hold is a hold is a hold.
Yes.
Shout out to any Scott Pilgrim fans in chat. It looks like, yeah, that disconnect was a little vicious there for the side of Void, but honestly, that's a pretty far push where we've seen lots of teams do have a full hold here or even hold on second. It's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah. I mean, a bit of a turnaround as well for this map from the last map. In the first map, it didn't seem like Orisa was working for Anarchy, but you bring the Anarchy, you bring the Orisa, and at some point it will work, as it does now. No Parents is forced to swap in the middle of that game. Although, who was on Ryan? I forgot. Yeah, it was No Parents on Ryan in the beginning, right?
I think they walked out on it but yeah, it didn't last too long, I don't think.
Yeah, it was short-lived as Ryan didn't. Ryan is pressured so much by the Orisa. You want to play fast, aggressive, and in your face, but Orisa is not gonna sit there and cry. Like she's gonna use her abilities to displace Ryan, and even to break his shield. Orisa outputs so much damage close range, so Ryan and Orisa is not the funnest matchup you can think of.
It does kind of beg the question of what can Ryan do here, where like it definitely feels like he's an Overwatch 1 tank, and some of these reworked heroes are just able to do more, they're able to go first, they're able to go faster, harder, and he's just Rectangle Man, so it does often feel a little bad there for Rhines these days.
Yeah, as we see Silence now on the coming out on the Pharah, kind of a deja vu moment here as we go into the second round.
We're also going to be having a bit of a Widowmaker battle there. Dobin already finding a pick. As the Mercy for the side of Gigachads lets the lobby know they have a Widow.
Yeah,
but it is Dobin popping off, finding 2 there in the opening fights here, giving his team a whole lot of space.
Just
bad.
Just Aris with a switch on the Widow gets 2 already, opening up the fight for Gigachads, and Silence closing it out.
Yeah, no, those early picks looks like it will be enough to grant them at least 1 tick, but now with that pick onto Dobin there, Jess is popping off. Absolutely going to be able to secure this this first point here and get their cart underway.
Yeah,
Dobin has been rezzed just to die.
Silence pressuring here. Wow, getting so many picks here while the rest of the team is just capping. Silence doesn't care if that the fight is not supposed to happen here. Silence will make the fight happen here as he takes out every single player in the lobby.
It is hard enough to shoot at a Pharah in the sky, but now you have to do it while watching your head against a Widow and against a potential Orisa Javelin. It is simply too much here as Gigachads are marching their way through King's Row.
Yeah, I would say that is one of the more annoying...
Let them breathe!
I would say that is one of the more annoying combos, DPS combos, the Pharah and the Widow. One can shoot you from afar, and one is pressuring you from above. And yeah, D.Va coming out from here from Anarchy.
Yeah, it's gonna force the swap. It's gonna force Anarchy.
Sorry, you go.
Yeah, no, it's gonna force Anarchy onto that D.Va, having to use that defense matrix to try to close the gap, to try to get some harassment in. It looks like it is Liquid getting on top of the Widowmaker, able to shut him down, trying to give his team some kind of purchase on this cart. This 5v4 is looking better for the side of Team Void, but Gigachads are rounding the corner, and that Silence going down to that D.Va. D.Va swap paying dividends here, and it looks like it will be Void stabilizing just before point B.
Yeah, D.Va is a, I would say, hard counter to Pharah, and we see why. D.Va just goes in and pressures the Pharah off the angles that she wants to hold.
Well, and now that the Pharah isn't as established here, it's going to be a little bit harder for Silence to get in. And as I say that, Silence going down to the Genji, and his Mercy quickly followed. Ozone not able to get much. He's able to take out the Bob there as a consolation prize, but it does look like Gigachads will be sent back to the drawing board.
Wow. Void playing aggressive defense here with the bomb into the spawn. Taking their the pace of their own.
I don't know if it works in Overwatch 2 when you can slide the D.Va bomb along the road here. I think that's an old Poco tech, where you can get some funny curved bombs that can be really effective on this map. But now we see Silence coming in over top here, trying to put in that poke damage for his team. Ooh, as Liquid is also building up to, or is sitting on that blade, we'll see what he can make happen.
Yeah, Looks like a Kiriko ult with the blade going into the fight. A very effective combo there.
Doing
Uh,
Kitsune rushes will come out there, but yeah, like you were saying, that blade is just enough for that team to hold on, and we got Mercy rushes coming off left and right. But it's going to be a Team Void here, ultimately holding on.
for sure, and it looks like they only have the only effective ult they'll have next fight is Bob. And I don't even know how effective that could be, as we see Silence mirroring on the Genji. You predicted this earlier, but in a bit of a different comp. You said that Genji would come out with a Zarya, but it's actually coming out with a Orisa.
It is fascinating here. Damage boosted Genji can be very effective as well, but it looks like it will be Silence trying to get on the flank there. Quickly met by a Dynamite from Dobin. Dobin throwing that Bob out, but it will be No Parents getting in deep here, getting his hands dirty. Maybe a little too dirty for the likes of Anarchy, but Jess trying to avenge their main tank. But unfortunately, Llama going down, it looks like that will spell the end of the point for Gigachads. Team Void here with a stalwart defense on B.
Yeah, it looks like No Parents wanted to use the ult there, but didn't just didn't see the opening for the Terra Surge to be effective, and it just goes down a bit silly looking. But I'm pretty sure there was a plan there.
And now we can see what both these teams are planning, but it looks like Silence is going to be getting that Genji diff with the help of his team. A bit of a three-person assist for that opening kill, and Silence isn't done yet. He's going in after that Ashe, but Dobin is pocketed by the Mercy. That Mercy pocket won't be enough to keep him up. And now it looks like Gigachads will be able to take this point with a 5v3.
Oh, pushing
Terra
the
Surge now.
base here.
Yeah,
Terra
it looks like
Surge.
Charlie must have not had the Zuzu going down to No Parents Terror Surge there. Silence finding another one for himself. Anarchy trying to make it back. Liquid does pull out the blade, trying to defend point B there, but it will be Gigachads there actually capping point B before the blade's able to get pulled out. Now it's on to point C here.
Anarchy there stays alive in the mech with barely a sliver of HP and kills whoever was trying to kill them. Very funny to see there. And as we see Ultimate coming out.
That bomb coming out from Anarchy won't be able to get back in mech, but he was able to force out the Valkyrie from Llama here. Now we have a Bob out onto the point. No Parents will be face tanking that. Able to take it down before Bob is able to do much here, but now he's going deep into that backline, hunting down that Mercy. And Llama will go down to the rush of Liquid and now it's going to look like it's Void with the help of the Kitsune rush, solidifying their defense here just before the end of end of C.
Yeah, looks like to be a flashy play from Liquid, saving Void from an inevitable. Oh my god, an inevitable defeat.
It's interesting. We're seeing No Parents go really aggressive here with his Genji, almost like a dive comp without a monkey here. As Dobin goes down early to that Orisa of Gigachads. The blade coming out from Silence now is able to immediately take out the Mercy for the side of Void. Now with the Kitsune rush from Ozone, Silence looks to be unstoppable as Gigachads are marching all the way into point C. There's a Tracer waiting to get that final touch, but will it be enough? Recall forced out early for Dobin here. Terror Surge now from No Parents, just trying to buy some space on the point.
Oh,
Now
what a...
trying to get a touch, but it won't be enough. The overclock from Jess able to do work and clean up the point here. And that's a victory here for Gigachads.
A bit of a BM ult there from No Parents. Just securing some damage on Dobbin to pressure them out. And it works. They get the cap. And they get the map.
That's a great ultimate economy there for the side of Gigachads, making sure they had all those ultimates lined up for that final push. As we can see, we've seen point C be so momentum killing for the offense.
Also, what momentum killing, another thing that was momentum killing was the DC. I have to remind you guys, Liquid was a last second sub there for Void to continue this game going. Unfortunately, as they were rolling, they had a DC on their team, and that kind of killed them.
I believe Liquid was also saying He's naturally more of a tank player. At least he was in Overwatch 1. So now they're having their Overwatch 1 main tank on the Genji there. Uh, he seemed very serviceable. I'm not gonna lie, he did very, very well there. Main tank aim for everybody.
Yeah,
But
the
no.
Reinhardt to Sojourn pipeline is what we saw there.
Actually, a bit of a funny story. The main tank I normally play with in Overwatch, when we first tried Valorant, he popped off as a sniper for no reason. One of the funniest things I've ever seen in the world. The Reinhardt to Valorant pipeline. That's a classic.
Don't underestimate the Ryan aim. You need so much sensitivity that I don't know where I'm going with this actually.
Yeah, no, they
But
got all that fine motor control. No, yeah, you're
yeah.
nailing it. And now,
You know
all
what
jokes
is
aside here,
you know
we
what?
are now, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Continuing the main tank aim. You know what it is? I think it's the fire strikes. You have to aim with the fire
Those that long
strikes.
projectiles.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
Well, now we are on the fan favorite of the Formula One map here, where we get to see maybe a little bit of Ramatra possibly. We've seen it in the past year come out, but this has been the home of snipers and it's been the home of Sigmas.
Mm, And Anarchy is choosing to go for Ram. No, he's choosing
They're
to
in
dance
spawn.
actually.
They're in spawn. They're gonna swap around a bit. But I'm very excited to see Jess on this Widowmaker. It looked like Jess showed some serious prowess on that hit scan roll in the last round.
Yeah, opening up the team fights for Gigachads time and time again on the attack. It was beautiful to see. As we have some musical.
We got some shenanigans. Those do be shenanigans.
Yep.
Can you name the song?
Ode to Joy.
Oh, would you look at that?
Now everybody's just dancing. Now it's a dance party.
Love a good spawn dance party.
Yep.
I will say Charlie on the Brig is making me a little nervous. Brig is not in the best spot in the world at the moment.
I
Not
think
honestly
they're
able to do much
just
without a
here to
stun.
dance. I think they're here to dance.
You know what? That's a good attitude. We should all take that attitude to life more often.
Yeah. um. Okay, looks like the attacking side is switching back to their original picks, starting to at least. So maybe we'll get some action underway very soon.
It does look like Gigachads are kind of on the Double Sniper 2.0, if you will. We got a Widowmaker complemented by a Sojourn. Not a sniper technically in her own right, but those one-shots from across the map sure do feel like it.
Ooh, Void does block the Widow shot there from Jess. Very nice spot.
We will have silence on that Sojourn going up against Liquid on that Hanzo. So we're seeing the traditional double sniper come out for the side of Void as Dobin goes down early to Ozone, who is on the Zen. We're going to be seeing Zens come out of both of these main supports here. These main supports now able to showcase a bit of their own aim here, as we're going to have dueling Sigmas as well. Llama able to take out Anarchy here for that first fight, and it will be Gigachads holding this first corner.
Interesting to see. A very interesting difference here is in the support lineup. Ana for the opposing BAP. I'm guessing they want to put the Nano onto the Sigma here.
Ooh, or do we see a Nano Zen? We've seen Nano Zen be very popular at Overwatch League, but that's Ozone eating the nade and eating a rock very fast, going down early. Now it's going to be a 5v4 here for the side of Void. Anarchy forced to use that suck early, just trying to buy some purchase here as the cart rounds the corner. We've seen the second turn be so deadly with the high grounds for Widows being so prominent.
Oh no, is BAP
See what
stuck
Jess
here?
can get done.
Yes, he
I'm
is.
not sure if he's stuck, but he's definitely dead.
Yeah.
And now we see Dobin able to take out the Baptiste on either, and Jess able to answer back, taking out the Hanzo. That's a lot of damage missing, as well as that Sonic Arrow. But now as No Parents is looking to cancel the suck of Anarchy. And now we have the Widow Walls coming out for the side of Jess so much earlier than the side of Dobin, almost 50% faster. And the wall hack look like it will be enough for that, enough of advantage for Void to push forward. Or for Gigachads to push forward.
Jess, time and time again, saves Gigachads from a very tough spots, as Llama does go down in the previous fight really early.
And now we have No Parents here going for a Flux, not able to find much. And on the other side, we have Anarchy sitting on the Flux, looking to possibly comboed with the Dragons from Liquid. And that being said, the Flux out from Anarchy, Dragons come out, doesn't find much, but that's going to be Anarchy giving his life for a pick onto the Baptiste. Now both Sigmas have been removed from this fight. Silence in the backline of Team Void, trying to find something, will die on cart, as Void should be capping point A.
Yep. I was gonna say Jess is the wild card and they're still alive, but they go down. Right, as
Might be a
opposed to
wild
say
card, but it's 1v5 is always rough.
Yeah. Looks like both like all the support ults are online here for next fight.
Yeah, and we have Liquid going down early. He's trying to find some early poke, trying to build up to those dragons, but he looks like he gives his life for it. And now we're going to see No Parents swiftly anti-ed, and Llama's going to have to use that lamp to keep his tank up. Looks like that's going to pay dividends, though, because that bought just enough time for Jess to pick off the opposing team, opposing Sigma of Anarchy. But now No Parents will also be going down. Sigmas are not long for this world, not lasting very long in these fights at all. But now Nap seeing what he can do on that Zen. But it will be Ozone on the opposing Zen for Gigachads, finding a pick, finding 2 picks, and finished up with Silence also finding 1. As Gigachads are set up on this high ground.
Yeah, Zen's popping off. Both Zen's doing work here, and Ozone comes out on top in this particular fight, as they set up their team for a very, very, very comfortable hold here. With 5 ults going into the next fight.
Ooh, 5 ults and an opening kill onto the opposing Widowmaker does bode well for Gigachads here, as they're looking pretty. Anarchy, though, traded 1 back, sending a quick message to Jess, letting them know that they are not immortal, and in fact, they can die.
Oh, such a big and extended stagger here from Anarchy. So, that gotta hurt.
That is a pretty big stagger as long as no one else dies here. It does seem like Team Void has just under 2 minutes here, as well as a couple ultimates to try to get point B.
Yeah, but Gigachads has more. That's the problem here.
They do have more ultimates. Jess is using those Widow Walls early to try to buy some time for their team. But Liquid, using that Sonic Arrow, having Widow Walls up all the time. We are going to have No Parents use that Flux, but it's met with the trance from Nap. That Transcendence giving out that massive AoE healing is enough for Anarchy to find a pick onto the backline. Dragons come out, but it's going to be Ozone nullifying those dragons with a trance of his own. But it still seems like it's going to be Team Void marching up this hill. That is until No Parents stands on this hill and denies them any space and any possibility of this fight.
Yeah,
and that will be Gigachads winning out.
It looked like Dobbin lost his way there a little bit. His Google Maps didn't work quite as he wanted. He ended up in the backline of Gigachads. Not sure what happened there.
Well, and now we have Dobin swapping over onto that Tracer where he might be a little bit more at home in the backline there. But Nap eating an early Widow shot, and now the backline for Void is down. Jess doing massive work for their team, carrying this team all the way to a point B hold, but it's also No Parents here, making sure that they stamp their mark on this fight. And now with 10 seconds left, or just over 10 seconds left, can anybody from the side of Team Void touch?
The Lucia might, but it's gonna be a tough effort here from Void. As Ana gets picked off, and it's looking dire here for Void.
Team Void was able to get the touch, but now with just Lucio heals, and now not even Lucio heals, it's going to be so hard for them to find purchase on this point. But as I say that, it's Anarchy finding one on the Ramatra and Liquid finding a second. Dobin making that Tracer switch pay off, finding a pick onto the Zen in the back line. Pulse comes out, not able to find much. Now it's going to be Liquid bringing out that Blade, being the last hope for his team, finding two. As it's going to be Void marching forward, giving
Huge
themselves a
clutch
stay
from
of
the
execution.
Genji. Huge clutch from the Genji here. Coming out with 2 picks to save the fight as we go into the overtime. Last ditch effort to not let the cap go through from Gigachads.
Now we're gonna have both of the Widows have swapped onto Tracers, and Jess going down early. Liquid absolutely popping off on this Genji. Now we're gonna have this Ramatra all going off on the point, and nobody wants any of that smoke. And with that time extension and cap, it will be Team Void pushing into point C.
Yeah, it looks like Ramatra made everyone suffer there with his ultimate, and gets the card in to hopefully continue to the next point.
Now we have both of these Tracers being absolute menaces, finding some early picks, but kind of early enough that both teams want to back up here and regroup and let those respawners come in. But Dobin and Jess are going for it in this Tracer 1v1. A pulse comes out from Jess, not able to find much. Dobin's is finding a little bit more, picking off that Zenyatta, but now Jess is avenging their fallen Zenyatta.
Oh, Jess gets out by the skin of his teeth. Barely lives there.
We're gonna have Liquid getting a little aggressive there with the help of his Lucio. Nap is able to stay alive as they're rounding this corner. Anarchy is gonna go down in the Nemesis form. That's a lot of damage coming out from the side of the Sigma. Now that Rock from No Parent will be connecting on to the enemy Genji. And it looks like here with that Sigma shield and that pick on to Dobin, it will be Gigachads holding on to point C just barely.
Very barely there, but it looks like they're set up very nicely there for next fight with a pick and some ultimates of their own.
And now we had Jess opening up this fight, giving Gigachads a massive advantage in this fight, but Dobin trades it back, eliminating Jess.
What just happened there?
Tracer.
Did you see that? No Parents used his flux on the Tracer, who recalled and was out of the ultimate, but still got fluxed and raised into the air. I've never seen that before.
So that's an interesting bug to keep your eye out for.
That looks so weird. Did it not?
Yeah. I believe it was. Yeah. No, I've never seen that before. That's wild.
Well, I feel like some players on the Void seem kind of scammed as they write that in the chat.
They have been plagued by tech issues left and right. That is for sure. Yeah, that happened. That's someone clipped that and sent that to Blizzard. That's not great. But yeah, I don't know what I just witnessed.
Well,
yeah,
we witnessed a hold from Gigachads in last point, and some other shenanigans as well on top of that. But going back to the game, it looks like Gigachads might want to try something, unless they're just baiting us again with the Sim and the Junkrat in spawn.
Yeah,
what do you make of that?
I mean, we've seen Junkrat be extremely popular here in this league, so it wouldn't shock me too much. But it looks like we got silence going off on the piano.
Okay, I think I got baited again. They just want to play some music.
Yeah, this is a dance party now. You forgot.
I did forget.
It is so fun. All those years of piano lessons finally paying off. Thanks, Mom. The piano has to be one of my favorite things they've added to this game. It's been nothing but fun in spawn rooms. But it looks like we will have an Ana Zen coming out for the side of Team Void here. I'm curious. We should be seeing those nanoblades coming out here. It's a little tricky on defense with nanoblades. Can you find a win condition outside of that ultimate?
Dobbin certainly can with the Widow pick, as well as some pressure on the Sigma. And if they stick with Junkrat, honestly, just not letting Junkrat kill you, and that would be definitely your win con in that scenario, as they do switch to Widow.
Oh yeah, there we go. It looks like we will be getting the traditional Widow duel on this point. I think the teams are sorting out their final strategies here as they are onto a much more playable composition than they were just a moment ago.
Yeah, it looks like they're making sure if the Florida Mayhem play on this map is legal or not in scrims.
Okay, the thing is, the TP might be... I don't know about the TP, but the Maywall TP I think is too much. I don't know about just the TP though. It looks like we are gonna probably say play it safer than we need to here, and just probably not do any shenanigans with the sim.
Oh, it looks like we're returning to the piano. Okay, I want to hear some of this song. I'm actually curious what the song is.
Alright, what you got for us? Alright, Silence, let's see it. Does this count as a motivational speech for Silence? He's playing the piano. I think he's hyped himself up.
That sounded like something from Avatar Korra, didn't it?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I did not quite catch the audio on that one. I'll have to check the VOD though, because that is right up my alley. But now we got Dobin opening up this map with an immediate pick onto Silence. It'll be curious to see what Silence chooses to play here. But now we have Jess answering back, and we're just doing headshots one way and the other, going back and forth. But ultimately, these trades will benefit the offense and their closer spawns.
Yeah, this is what this meta is all about. Just random pickups at their most random time. Just from every single player on the comp, on the team.
Now it looks like Gigachads have coalesced behind their main tank, and as they march forward, they've taken out not only the supports but also the tank of Void there, as Silence is starting to find his groove a bit on that Sojourn.
Yeah, Liquid also switches to Sojourn here. We do see a mirror on the DPS lineup here, as Jess is already so close to the Widow sides here. Looks like they're doing so much damage.
It is interesting. Gigachads are gonna have that Kiriko as well, with so much more survivability than an Ana, but maybe a little less utility. There's gonna be no anti-nades or anything to speak of. But as I say that, Anarchy goes down, trying to hold the point for Team Void, and unfortunately, there's gonna be no one else to touch here. Silence going off, finding two.
Ooh, Liquid also going off.
Yeah, those trades do get traded back, but after the cap onto point B here, it should be Gigachads pushing around the bend.
Oh my god. Void looks like Void are sitting comfortable here with picks after picks after picks.
No parents going low there. They have to be very careful for a headshot from a Widow there could have taken him out, but it's gonna be Jess opening up the fight with picking off the Sojourn of Team Void, and with a walls to match, it looks like Void will be forced to push back and respect those walls. Anarchy fails to respect the walls and trades his life for it, and as the Gigachads push up here, there is no one on point.
The payload isn't pushing though. All of that was for nothing. I would feel like only for positioning here from
they sent
Gigachads.
Lamo back. They sent Lamo back. He's pushing it.
Yeah,
he's on card duty.
Finally.
Oh, I can't blame the Kiriko for wanting to get a few extra knives in here, trying to build up to that Kiri rush, but it does look like Gigachads have quite the ult bank.
Yeah, but Void also do Look at that. So many ults here.
Anarchy opens it up with a Flux, no parents to match. Unfortunately, that Trance isn't able to find much as both Fluxes are able to find something here. The Gigachads are going to push forward here, but Ozone eats that overclock from Liquid, and now Nap Nap following up on it. Liquid
Yeah,
absolutely
overclock.
doing work here with a nano boosted overclock.
So much damage from that overclock. Wow. I don't know.
I'm curious. Do you think the side of Void really need the extra healing here from an Ana when they're playing sniper compositions?
Uh, not sure. I don't think so, but I think they're going for the nano overclock here. Combination to because
Ooh, we got Sojourns chipping into the Widow 1v1. Not so honorable this time, but both Widows will be traded out here as Lemma lets that Kitsune Rush go. Silence finding a pick onto Nap Nap. It looks like Silence is really coming alive here on point B, and now with an overclock, looking to put this point away. Forcing everybody back here. He's going to find 2 before this fight is over as the cart sails into point B.
huge plays from Silence. As always, Sojourns are very hard. Could be very hard carries in these kind of comps. Just getting picks after picks with their overclock.
It looks like Silence took 2 steps onto the face of Team Void there, doing a little cha-cha slide. 2 hops aside. But now we're gonna have Dobin over onto the Tracer. It looks like Team Void want to forego the Widow battle. It looks like the long-range damage from the Sojourn will be enough. Dobin already making that swap pay off here, finding a pick onto Ozone. Silence continues his dominance on this map, taking out the main tank of Team Void, as it looks like they will get purchased just around this corner.
Such a clean engagement from Gigachads there, as they secure the fight without losing a single person on the team, and are looking very strong to cap this point.
Jazz with an early wall is trying to give their team an advantage. Anarchy marches in the back in that Nemesis form, trying to get some work done, but Silence will shut him down. Nap Nap tries to pressure the back line, but is countered out by Ozone on that Zen, and now No Parents taking out the remainder of the backline of Void. This will be Gigachads marching forward, and that is unless Dobin has anything to say about it.
Yeah, it looks like they've capped the point already, but it's gonna keep going.
Ooh,
And
Dobin is able to stick Ozone, and Charlie's not able to not able to cleanse that in time here. So it's going to be a bit of a messy fight here. Neither team quite at full strength. It looks like No Parents is going to try to play this slowly, trying to wait for some respawns here. Dobin trying to force the issue though, taking out Jess early, saying that we may not have been able to duel on the Widows, but we can duel here on the Tracers.
where is Anarchy going?
Wherever he wants. That's why he's named that.
Yeah, total Anarchy coming out from Anarchy, just vaulting down to the old spawn for absolutely no reason.
And now we have No Parents showing Anarchy his place, setting him up with the Flux, but Dobin able to trade back that kill. And now it looks like it's going to be Gigachads with a couple picks with a bit of advantage here. Looks like it's about a 4v3 on point. Now Jess over onto the Genji of all picks, able to find a pick onto the backline. But now with that Ramatra ult, Anarchy is claiming space on the point. It quickly runs out though, and now that's 2 massive ults from Void gone.
Yeah, it looks like they had to use their Ramatra ult there to just keep the point going, and it worked, because this Ramatra ult is really good in these spots.
Dobin's going to go down before you're able to build up to that pulse bomb. Llama protecting the backline at all costs here. And now Llama throwing out that Kitsune Rush. And it looks like his team will be able to storm forward and start to overwhelm Team Void. Pulse out from Dobin isn't able to find much. Forced to recall early here. Trying to stall out on point along with his Lucio isn't able to do much. And this will be cleanup from Gigachads.
And they get the card in.
Yep, they're able to complete the map here. So as we are playing by SCRIM rules, Gigachads did push it all the way back. All the way completing the map, whereas Void was just able to get it around the corner there. So by tournament rules, this would have been a win for Gigachads, but it's a scrim, and that's not
Yep.
quite the point of scrims here. We're all here to get better, here to have a little fun, here to learn.
Yep.
Like we're here to learn. Apparently, you don't recall out of fluxes because that breaks the game. Don't do
Well,
that.
yeah,
That's wrong.
I kind of want to see what happened there, honestly. I'm not sure. It was very
It is.
confusing at the time.
It's
As we
been a
have,
confusing day.
apparently we have a motivational speech redeemed by the fake FDD. Do you want
You
to do
want to
it?
go ahead? I was gonna say, do you want to hype up Silence there? I feel like I hyped him up pretty good in that last map.
I feel like I feel like who needs a motivational speech here is Void, because they're kind of being slammed here in the scrim so far. Not getting, I don't think they got a single map in so far. So how
We are
about
seeing.
motivational speech to them? Do you want to do it? I'm not
Well,
really good at motivational speeches, but I
I'm
can do it
not
if you.
either.
All
By all
right,
means, have at it.
Void, you guys can do it. If just Anarchy performs well enough, you guys are. You guys look so good when Anarchy performs. Liquid always performs, I feel like, with the main tank aim. I don't even need to talk about that. Just doing so well. Uh, just play your game and you'll do perfectly fine in the scrim. And yes.
Now these maps have been extremely close both ways, though. Also, Team Void playing with a sub, their comms can always be a little messy there when you have a new person thrown in there unexpectedly. So even through all that, it looks like Team Void is performing extremely well there. Liquid still looking good. Dobin performing extremely well in the hit scan there. But no, it's been a great match back and forth so far.
Yeah, all the maps are very close here, even though Gigachads are winning all of them out. But at the end of the day, a scrim result doesn't matter as much as how you performed in it. And Void are performing really well so far.
You know what? I was also thinking back on it. Silence really popped off on the first map on the Pharah.
Hmm.
They were diffing Dobin very heavily on that Pharah match, forcing some swaps onto Echo and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I forgot how well Silence was doing in that first map, and I think Silence needs to remember that a bit, trust himself, and let's see what he can get done coming out on this Genji. We're playing a much faster comp for the side of Gigachads with that Genji with the Sojourn.
And a bit of a slower comp here coming out from Void as we have Torbjorn to take that aggression in and hopefully win out the long fights.
Yeah, we got a slow comp of Torb and Cassidy here, but it's going to be both of these Rams going straight into Nemesis form, but it's going to be Anarchy getting the best of no parents. But Lama's trying to keep his team in it, finding a pick onto Dobin. And then now it does look like Gigachads with a couple picks are going to come out on top here, and just making sure to slam that door shut.
Yeah, it looks like the speed is the key here in this first fight. Let's see if there's any swaps going on here for Void, and I don't think there is. We're gonna continue this war of base going with no swaps.
Yeah, and we've been looking at the damage here. The Sojourn's being able to pump out damage on such a consistent basis here. And now we have Silence being able to pick off that turret early here, but Ozone cracking things open for the side of Gigachads, picking off that Cassidy. But it will cost the side of Gigachads their main tank, and no parent going down. So now only a Ramatra for the side of Void here, as Dobin finds a pick onto that Genji. That Torbjorn absolutely countering a pick like Genji, that turret making him so hard for Topper on the map. But now Jess has to be careful here to not stagger themselves out. But it's Ozone picking off Nap once again, cracking things open for Gigachads.
Very nice headshots there from Ozone. Open up the fight wide open for Gigachads to come back into this fight, as Anarchy uses his ult to stay on point for as long as he can, gets a pick, gets another one. Will he get a third? No, he comes back, and his ultimate expires.
It might be a bit of an overlap from the side of Void using both of their massive AoE ultimates, both the Torb ultimate and Ramatra ultimate coming out in that fight.
Yep. As we head into the next fight, Void will have a few ultimates of their own here to maybe cap the point.
We got dueling Kitsune rushes here, crossing all over the cart here, and now a blade coming out from Silence, which is going to be attempt to get countered by the High Noon, but the High Noon is quickly shut down by Silence. Silence with a 4K blade, showing him what he's made of.
What a performance from Silence this has been this scrim so far. Another 4K here from him, and he's just not stopping.
Silence is looking so much better when he's on those projectile heroes. He looks so much more comfortable on this Genji. And now we're going to have Liquid swap into a Genji of their own as they come in here. Anarchy trying to find some purchase, trying to deny the butt scratch here for Gigachads. But we're going to have no parents popping that Ramatra ult, and it's promptly, immediately canceled there by Dobin. That will have no tank ult for the side of Gigachads, as now, with that momentum swing, Void looks to push forward.
But Silence wants to deny that and dies very quickly. Tobin just continues to clean this fight up and earns himself a little bit of a hot ultimate.
We are going to have a couple key ultimates coming up for the side of Void. That Torbjorn Splood will be key to cap this point, as well as a beat from Nap Nap here. We see the dueling Nemesis forms as the tanks try to punch each other back into the spawns. That Coom from Torb coming out here trying to deny as much space as possible here. And now we have that Ramatra ult from Anarchy trying to deny any space here as Team Void is marching forward. How long can Anarchy keep it going?
Such a clutch ultimate from Anarchy to just denies any space there from Gigachads and gets the point and the lead as we head into the next fight with only a critical ult available for them.
That is critical here as Team Void does take the lead now, but we're gonna have no parents swapping onto a Hog, trying to find some hooks here as he looks to try to flank into the back line. But that's gonna be Ozone going down to Anarchy without their tank in the front line there. The Kiriko quickly crumbles.
A bit of a split play there from Gigachads doesn't work out as they wanted it to, and yeah, as now Parents gets a pick of his own.
Yeah, no Parents is able to nullify any effects from the Kitsune Rush from the side of Void, and now Ozone with Kitsune Rush of his own, trying to boost that blade from Silence. But Liquid with a blade of his own is able to find two. Now it's just a Hog here on this
Silence going?
cart.
He's on the other side of the map, getting picked. His team is losing on point.
It's always important to get your anime fights in when the time is appropriate, but now we have no Parents here whipping out that whole Hog while he's alone on point. Team Void is easily able to overwhelm the solo Hog as he's sent back to spawn, deflecting his own ultimate back at him.
Well, a bit of a mishap there from Silence as he goes to the other side of the map and lets his team lose.
That slow from Anarchy is so critical in locking down Jess there, putting Void up here at a 5v4 as now they let that Molten Splooge fly, denying the high ground here from the side of Gigachads. Anarchy in that Nemesis form is trying to punch his way to victory. That Ramatra ult comes out trying to deny any space. How this ult can go for a long time, especially with a Hog on the field there. We will see who dies first. Will it be the Hog or the Ramatra? And it looks like it will be that Hog.
Yeah, it looks like Void wants to cap the point here. They don't want to prolong this match for any longer. They just want to end this here and now and go on to the next map.
It does look like Team Void here has found a new breath of life. on this Ramatra ult, and Dobin's able to survive the hook there with the help of Nap Nap in a critical beat there, trying to close out this map. And now with that rush from Charlie, it looks like Void mean business, and they mean it now. Trying to find a pick onto this hog, but he is able to live forever. Anarchy punching left, right. But now it's going to be just enough time for Silence to pull out the blade, hunting that backline. And it will be just able to take down the Lucio of Void, but it won't be without Charlie for Void finding a pick. Now it's going to be the backline of Gigachads in trouble, but Jess with an overclock, trying to stay this execution, trying to push for his team, trying to be that light. But now it's going to be Silence on the Bastion, able to clean up, as it looks like that was a bit of an emergency pick. He will be heading back to spawn to swap.
Yeah, so many ults were forced from Gigachads there, and it's not gonna get easier from here, as they still have to take the lead to win this this map, and it's so far away.
The Gigachads do have a huge ask in front of them to push this all the way and almost complete the map, but a Ramatra ult will stand in their way. But now Dobin finding one and Anarchy finding two with that Ramatra ult. Looks like this bot will be quickly reversing direction.
Yeah, and the sad thing is that it doesn't even matter if they win the next fight. It's pretty much all over for Gigachads because they don't need to win. They can just prolong the fight as long as possible and wait out the clock.
We do have just over a minute here for Team Void as they're trying to push the bot all the way into their spawn there. Just a few more meters to go. But Jess is able to find another pick, and this should be the Gigachads trying to find an advantage. Anarchy trying to get something going with the Nemesis form, isn't able to find much. And now we got TS1 pushing the other way.
Yeah, like I said, they didn't need to win the fight. They just prolonged it as long as possible with the Ramatra thing and the everything else. And now they have a very comfortable spot here, as they have a Gigachads going into the next fight, which could win the fight outright, but it doesn't even need to be that way.
I think Gigachads have the right idea here, trying to push up around this corner, but they're quickly met with a Kitsune rush from Charlie. But Jess, with an overclock, is able to find two and take out that turret alongside Silence, and Jess cannot be stopped.
Huge plays from the DPS of the Gigachads just to stay alive in this map. It was an impressive fight win, but it's gonna require so much more than that to even get close to winning the rest of the map, as we get to the overtime going.
The Chads will have both support also try to sustain themselves through this slobber knocker of a fight. We're going to have all the offensive ults coming down from the side of Void. That Ram ult comes out, that Blade comes out, the Molten Core comes out. And it is overwhelming for the side of Void. There's too many ultimates, and eventually that will be Chads forced off this point. And it will be Void taking the map.
Yeah, actually a very impressive comeback there from Void, as they were they lost the lead in the very beginning there. So it is a pretty tough ask to do a comeback in this kind of map type. Yes.
Push is a wild game mode. You never really know what's going to happen. It can be extremely back and forth, but we see teams put together these really good runs where the momentum just seems to never stop, and yeah, they just kept rolling almost all the way into the enemy's spawn there, almost with the map completion for the side of Void. Not quite though.
Yeah, but they still win the fight, the map. So does it really matter at the end if you cap the point or not? If you get the dub on your score sheet.
True, and we had some highlight plays from both sides there. We saw some massive blades. But now it looks like our next point here will be Oasis. Another very back and forth point.
Yeah, a very exciting control map. I think it's one of my favorites.
I believe this is we're on to City Center first, right?
Yes, the
I
one with
believe
the
that's what this
cars.
stage. Yeah. Well, this map actually has one of the shortest spawn distance out of any maps in the game. We've seen teams really just draw this fight out. I think even at like the Overwatch League level, we've seen teams stall this out from 70 all the way up to 99%.
And as well as the first fights, these first fights can last as long as 2 minutes with nobody capping, and it could go on for an eternity just
That is
to
also true.
start the map going. So I'm interested to see how it's gonna go here.
And this is a great chance for Silence to bring the far out again. As I don't think these are going to be the exact composition the teams are running out on. But we do see
But
a Mercy from Llama, which should be hinting at a little bit of Pharah, maybe a little bit Echo play.
it looks like we have a Torbjorn now on the side of Gigachads, as we had, I believe, Torbjorn from the side of Void last time. Kind of stealing the ideas from each other. These teams are.
It would be interesting to see them run out with a Mercy here. I don't know if we'll 100% see that. But I do think a Lucio out of spawn here or a SimTP on control maps here can be that little bit of an advantage that puts your team onto the point first.
Yeah, but it looks like we're not getting that here. We're just getting vanilla stuff, no speed boosts, and the team is gonna make their way over to the jump pad and fight there for the ground here.
Yeah, we see Liquid trying to claim that high ground, but he's quickly met by Silence on that Genji, but it's going to be Anarchy for the side of Team Void, opening it up with a hook, finding that pick onto the backline of Gigachads. But Jess making their presence felt as Anarchy's going on an absolute tear, finding 2. And now Nap with that res able to bring their teammate back, and Charlie finding another pick. This looks like everything except cleanup maybe, as Silence should be sent back to spawn there, and it's Team Void here capping the point.
It looks like no parents wanted to go for a cheese play to boop someone off the point, and it didn't really work, and they just let their team die in the process in that last fight, as they died themselves going to this fight.
That is kind of the problem with these compositions for both sides here, as we see Anarchy landing another hook, is that where there's not a lot of burst healing. If a tank falls low, it's very easy to capitalize and burst them down.
I want to point your attention to Jess, who already has 80% to their overclock so quickly in this round.
Liquid has matched on the other side as well, but Anarchy is able to find another pick, taking out Jess, who is brought back into the fight. We'll see how long they can last this time. But now it's going to be no parents making their way in on the point, spearing the hog of Team Void. And now Jess with that overclock already finding 1. They've been able to do work all game with it, and they're finding another headshot. But now Nap is able to find a res, and Liquid unfortunately did lose the overclock of their own. That ultimate will not be available here, but it better to have a Sojourn than not. But it is Liquid going down again, and now we have Charlie out on a little bit of a flank. And we're going to have a quick little anime fight with the 2 Kirikos here that is interrupted by Jess. And it will be Gigachads' first percentage on the point.
Yeah, it looks like after some tomfoolery, they gather themselves and win the fight very cleanly, I might say, with the overclock from Jess. And they still have Terror Surge for the next fight.
They do have that key tank ultimate that will be that can be comboed with the Kitsune Rush. But we're also going to see the Blade out from Silence. It looks like No Parents is opting to hold on to that Terror Surge, because who needs it when Silence can get 3 with a Blade like that?
Yeah, that's what they need right now. Some clean fights with only a few ultimates used, just like that fight, and they still remain with that Terror Surge, which might just win them the next fight if they play it correctly.
We've seen Anarchy be able to open up fights here with that hog hook. Can he find something here? Not before Jess does. Jess finding that first pick very quickly with a Sojourn. But that's why we have these Mercies. That Mercy's going to be able to bring their Sojourn back.
Oh
but
my
not
god.
before No Parents can let that Terror Surge go, finding 2 and shutting down this push from Void.
Terror Surge is actually so satisfying to watch. Like, you pull everything together and it's not often that it works so well as it did this time, but when it does, it is pretty satisfying.
This might be a hot take, but Terror Surge kind of reminds me of popping a pimple.
What a boop!
Oh, what a spear!
You know what else reminds me of popping a This!
The spears from No Parents, absolutely deadly here. Knocking out the main tank from the side of Void, and it looks like that pick might have been enough to give them the point as Jess finds 3 with another overclock. Liquid trying to trade it back, only able to find 1. That Bob does get thrown on the point in desperation, but No Parents setting the table for their team with that spear.
Orisas are popping the pimples while the Sojourns are just tickling that satisfaction bone in this round. Oh wow, I am satisfied after that round.
It looks like there might have been a possible disconnect there in that last fight too that contributed to some shenanigans. This has been a day of nothing if not shenanigans.
Wait, was there? I didn't notice.
I think one of the I think that was part of how he fell off the map there. It was weird. I'm not sure. The teams were talking a little bit about some problems staying connected to the server. We've seen tech be quite an issue here with Sombra's hacking us left and right. But so far so good. It looks like everyone is still in the lobby here. Do you expect to see any changes from either of these teams heading on to Gardens?
I am expecting maybe Anarchy to swap out to the Orisa. They were running the Hog unsuccessfully before, getting booped off there. Was partially because they were running Hog, because Orisa is not gonna get booped. Because she has gold, she has spin, which could eat the spear, and it looks like I am correct in that assumption, as they will have a Kiriko Lucio here for Void.
I would also like to take a moment of silence for all the Lucios who have died trying to boop a tank, including Orissas. Feels bad, man. But now we will have these Orissas dueling here. We got dueling golden horses shining on point as we got Lucio's in the skybox and Genji's jumping, but it does look like it's going to be Team Void here situating themselves on the point. We got Liquid on the high ground, Liquid on that cast, and Dobin on the Hanzo, putting down enough pressure that it looks like it's going to force Gigachads to hide around this corner, at least for a moment as they regroup.
Yeah, it looks like a misposition there from Silence causes the pick there from Void and a cap.
Well, now we have No Parents here trying to get his team some sort of purchase on the point, spearing the back line of Void. Not able to find much as Jess is able to take down Hanzo.
Oh, No Parents going so deep, gets punished. Will the rest go off? Yes, it will. What is going on here?
It's the old run it down mid, I'll res you strat. Get him in deep, get that res off, and the second time around is that Orisa did prove to be a
Where
bit
is
of a
Lena
menace
going?
in the back line.
Llama?
Home. He's going home. He's done.
I don't think they disconnected. I think they just jumped off the map. Was it a trust exercise for No Parents to peek at them and so they could GA?
Yeah, that's a little curious because, yeah, that's not normally how Mercies go about. And now, without that key support there, it will be an easy fight for Void walking in here.
Yeah. What? Okay.
Well, it looks like Lemma is all back now and everything looks to be all good. So this should be a... Well, I say that, and Jess eats a random headshot from a Hanzo. But it looks like Gigachads will be able to make a more serious attempt here for the point as Jess is being rezzed back into this fight here. We got dragons coming out from Dobin and a Terror Surge from Anarchy used in combination but not able to find much. Jess is able to take out the Cassidy for the side of Void. Jess doing work here, finding a second pick with that Disruptor shot. And now with an overclock, putting an exclamation mark on this fight, it's only Nap Nap here for the side of Void trying to stall things out. And this will be a fight going over to Gigachads.
I feel like a bit of silly things are happening so far in the scrim. At this point, it's probably the last map. Everybody's just tired and wants to go home. And as you see there, Silence was dancing there, trying not to get shot by Hanzo instead of just killing the Hanzo, which was very interesting.
After a long day of disconnects, we are all trooping through this last map here. But now we got a Kitsune rush into a Terror Surge, into another Kitsune rush, into a High Noon. This is an absolute mess of a fight, but we're going to have Jess finding two as they always do, being that staple for Gigachads, being that absolute anchor for the team. But Nap Nap able to get a support on support crime there, finding a pick onto the Mercy. Anarchy doing his best here, but it will eventually be overwhelmed by the Gigachads.
A very interesting play there from No Parents, just going into the backline of Void to just live there throughout the whole fight, not getting punished. Gets away with it, and gets away with a fight win.
Alright. That is going to be last chance here for Team Void to come on in. An early Zuzu from Charlie, but it looks like it paid off as Liquid was able to find the opposing Kiriko. Liquid doing some work, finding both supports, but now No Parents. Looks like he's on a bit of a revenge mission, trying to avenge his backline. Now we're just going to have Anarchy on the point here, able to cap it. He is the only man standing here for the side of
where's
Void.
Genji going? To spawn is apparently is where he's going.
Silence thought he could have some last minute heroics, but now it looks like Void firmly holding this point.
Yeah, they have Terror Surge to maybe even slow down the push here and not let them touch. I want to see this.
Terror Surge out now.
So strong.
Ozone perfectly timed that Zuzu to try to keep his team in it, but the Molten Core from Dobin doing work, able to shut down the Terror Surge of No Parents there. And now Liquid finding a pick onto Jess without the main damage dealer from the side of Gigachads. It's not looking good. Liquid showing he's not the only one who can play Sojourn in this lobby, and able to close it out for his team. Team Void taking round 2.
Very close round there in the end. As Gigachads almost come back with some picks of their own, but Void just being able to close it out in the end is as we head on to the next map, which is, what is this map called? Is this University?
Yep, we are on University here. Perfect way to kind of cap off the stream here, as this is the most shenanigan heavy map. This is the map where you see Reapers, Junkrats, Torbjorns, who you name it, you'll see it.
I want to see. Honestly, in the spirit of silliness, I want to see a Junk Torb mirror here to close it out, but it is so close. Jess wants to play the Soldier.
If you were Jess, would you swap off Sojourn? I wouldn't.
And yeah, I don't blame them. They've been popping off all scrim long, and hard to swap off from a hero you're so good at.
Well, also a hero that is so strong, right? Sojourn has been a staple in this meta. She's been very, very impressive. I would be shocked to see teams not run Sojourn, especially outside of a scrim environment, maybe in something like a tournament.
Oh, we're seeing something really silly right now. Dobin on the Symmetra. Are they gonna swap? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
They're gonna go over to the Junkrat here.
Alright, so it looks like we're going to have Dobin on that Junkrat and Silence on that signature Genji. Gigachad sticking to their guns, sticking to these heroes that they've proved that they can get so much work done on. But now it's going to be Anarchy in deep, using that slow, locking down No Parents. And now without a main tank here, it's looking a little grim for Gigachads, who are forced back into their spawn.
Huge plays there from Anarchy, just getting so much space and so many kills to clean it up. Gets the point and some ultimates as well here.
Yeah, that slow from Anarchy proving to be very, very deadly, with the whole team able to coordinate around that. And now we see Gigachads moving on to the coast side high ground. And as I said, as we had a moment of silence for the Lucios, we see Nap Nap able to find a pick onto No Parents, sending him off the map.
Yeah,
and while that's an amazing...
I think that Boop deserves a party after the moment of silence we held for the Lucios who cannot get the boops on the tanks anymore. Apparently they can.
As that was a cool kill, Silence tried to trade it back there, unable to do much. But now it looks like Gigachads are coming in here fast for another push. But they are going to wait for their Genji here, but that's No Parents charging in with that spin, and Anarchy popping out of the Nemesis form. Silence already finding a pick here. It's looking good for the side of Gigachads. Without the Torbjorn, Void is looking a little low on damage, but Silence goes down. Both sides missing 1 damage players as we have a 4v4 on point. Now it's a Kitsune rush for the side of Charlie, backed up with a beat from his Lucio player. The side of Void has so much damage and so much sustain. They came right back in, and that's a very fast recap as No Parents was locked down and taken out.
It looks like Void came back into that fight purely because they had so many ults there in their bank, and they were able to use both support ults, to just close it all out. As what on earth just happened between Dublin and Silence?
An eye for an eye.
For sure.
A little Thanos trade there. Never heard anything. But now a Terror Surge coming out here for No Parents, but straight into the Ramatra ult from Anarchy. No Parents here is having his health bled away from that Ramatra ult.
Anarchy's gonna stay alive here for so long, just holding his hands up and not letting the enemy team kill him.
We have
as he
Jess popping
finally
that
goes
overclock.
on the offensive.
We have Jess popping that overclock, taking out the tire there from the side of Dobin. But now that Anarchy was in an ultimate, that whole fight, able to stay alive and able to take the point for the side of Team Void.
What a stall to end off the scrim. And the last 2 maps were actually taken by Team Void, so my little inspirational speech worked, I feel like. Not to take any credit.
Not to take any credit for the speech that was definitely meant for the other team. That you
No, I did. It was meant for Void.
it was meant for Silence.
Well, no, it was for Void.
Oh. Okay. I can read. Might be. But yeah, no. Shout out Silence to Silence redeemed a quick little shout out here to Llama's toes before we get out here. It looks like we are gonna set up here for a quick interview.
Yeah,
we have.
Yeah, sorry. You go.
I'll say it looks like we're gonna be having at least a tank player here from the side of Gigachads joining us. Or sorry, from the side of Void. My bad. But yeah, as we're getting that set up here.
Anarchy? Okay.
Yeah. We're just and here we
Hello.
are. Welcome guys.
Hello.
Oh,
A very back and forth stream there. How are you guys feeling?
lively.
Yeah, pretty good, you know. Just
very nice.
rough start. Brought it back towards the end, show what we could do.
Definitely. I mean, going into the second half of the scrim, like everyone was awake. We just looked more alive. I think, especially going into push, we managed to show that we were just the more dominant team. And then went on to put up a good fight on Ilios as well. Yeah.
Ilios? Do you mean
Oasis? You know
There
what
you
I mean.
Okay, so what did happen on Oasis there with the spear?
Oh,
Was there a disconnect there?
With
I-
the what? Sorry.
It was on the second map. I thought I saw someone as that spear knocked the hog off.
Oh.
I thought I saw someone call disconnect as that happened.
No, I'm.
We were
Oh
saying he
yeah.
disconnected throughout the entire
Yeah.
thing. It was just sort of
Okay,
like,
I want to
Yeah.
make sure.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
am. No, I remember now. I was just sat chilling, you know, been hog vibing on the point, vibing in the corner, and then just saw Orisa, and I think the rest speaks for itself. The next second I was off the map. It's like it's just sat there. I think you could see like Hog's like shoulders and head, and it was just like, yeah, that's enough. And I went to sleep with the fishes again. But
That is a bit of a rough one.
Hello.
it is.
Oh, we
hello.
have Silence joining us as well.
Welcome.
Oh
Thank
damn.
you.
So, as now we have Silence joining us here. Silence, you want to maybe talk about a little bit of that Pharah versus Echo pick?
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
just curious, like, do you have a preference for one, or any general thoughts about the projectile roll?
Personally, Farah is just a lot better for me. I haven't had much practice on the Echo, so I just stick out the Farah really.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Echo's ult feels weird now.
Yeah, I don't like the
Yeah.
health there. Yeah, it's I can't deal with it. So
It's almost better to stay as Echo, I feel.
it can be, yeah. I mean, because then you have the beam, right?
I usually copy the supports. It's pretty underrated to copy the supports right now. You just get some healing in, you get some very, very crucial ultimates. Some
That's a good shout.
Yeah, see, I'll say that to my team, but they'll just say I'm trolling, so I always do that one.
I mean, I feel like if you can get like an extra Kasune rush, that's
I guess
super
so.
worth.
No,
Is it
just
stack?
yeah.
I actually don't know if the Kitsune Rush is stuck. That'd be funny.
The speed shouldn't, right? Because speed's capped at 75% boost, no matter what.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Because I know
Looks like
Nano and Kerrigal stack. But
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I don't know if double Kerrigal would stack.
looks like we might have to jump into some custom games here one of these
Oh,
days.
God.
Next time I
Yeah.
scrim, I would accidentally clip with Kiro, so
I'm curious here, as we've seen the meta evolve a bit. We're seeing more and more teams move away from the Lucios and on to things like Mercy. What do you guys think about Mercy's place in the meta right now?
Makes Orisa stupidly OP. Like she just doesn't die already. You pocket her with a mercy, it doesn't end. It's like a brick
Worse than a
wall.
Lucio.
Yeah, in my opinion, but I don't know. It's one of those things where like it depends on like how much healing you get, because I know obviously a lot of mercies like to flip between the two. But
Right.
if like you're sat like with a mercy damage boosting you 1 second, you then like go golden and then you get mercy healing you. If it's done right, like I've had many a fight, so it's just you just don't fall over, you don't die if it's timed right. And then obviously like Suzu comes in as well. It's one of those things. I think at the moment Mercy's in a good place, but like I don't know, it could fall off quickly if someone else gets buffed.
I think the thing that Lucio has over Mercy, and it will always be this way, is his ult is just like you could
Useful?
you can stop like a Genji blade in its tracks pretty much, unless they're paired with Kiriko ult. At that point it's 2 for 1. And like Mercy, if you've got competent DPS, like most teams do, yeah, your Mercy Sojourn, just go have a field day really.
yeah, I think that's what I take from it because Lucio's like very tank centered, and now there's
Yeah.
only one of them. You've always got the Mercy can fly around to everyone, and since it's like clearly quite strong double sniper, she can just get them to quicker and actually help more impact of the DPS than Lucy can.
Yeah,
But yeah, you do have the Lucio ult, which is like probably a lot better.
yeah, it depends on the style you want to play for. Currently, Sojourn's busted, so therefore you play the Mercy so she can still get that headshot.
Well, you mentioned Mercy might fall out of the meta if we see some other supports buffed. We did recently see Moira buffed. I believe she gets resource back from her damage orbs now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that going to be enough that we might see some Moira play in the future?
No.
No, unless
No,
like,
hopefully not.
unless like just a full on like Jorts comes back, I like with Moira Lucio instead. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel
they'd
like
have
she's just not gonna work.
They'd have to nerf like Baptiste or something, and then really buff Moira so that you could play him with Brawl or something. Like,
Mm,
I think Kiriko Baptiste are just the best like for Brawl, and that's the only real place Moira I think has a place for in Brawl. But when you've got Kiriko and Bap, there's no point. She's good for contest. That's it.
that's it. Yeah.
I mean,
There
yeah,
was a
that's what I've
point
seen
in
in Overwatch 1, where she
Yeah.
only has a very specific comp with 6-man,
Yeah.
and now I guess people haven't found that yet. So-
there was a one point in history where Moira was meta because she would just get Cole faster than like Tracer got Blink back. You know what I mean? Like she was just popping
Yeah,
Cole's
yeah.
left and right.
Mm.
So like yeah, I guess if she's not spamming out Cole's every 30 seconds, it is a little bit tougher for her.
I do
Yeah.
think there's a validity to a Moira pick right now with a Kiriko. You still remain that cleanse, and your healing output will be just it because her healing and damage output are insane right now. So I haven't really tested it too much, but I do think there might be some validity to that.
I still think you fall over if you run the Moira just because,
It's just
you
better
know,
no
picks out
burst.
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's no burst there, and it's not like you have a cleanse or an invulnerability. You have 2 orbs. That's pretty much it.
Mm.
Well, and this is something I've screamed at every ranked Moira ever, but just because you ticked a bunch of damage over the course of a map doesn't mean it was impactful damage.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and she's quite close range, isn't she? So like, I mean, I don't know, with the what I said with the double sniper, she's gonna be out in the open.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
like a Widow, just be able to pick her off easily.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, that is an interesting thought there. Zima, do you have any other parting thoughts here before we wrap up the stream?
No, that was a really nice scrim. They're very, very close. Probably the closest I've cast so far. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah. So
And
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for Scrim.
it was nice to
Thanks
let
for Scrim.
boys actually show its worth. Wait, its worth, its strength again. It's been a while.
Thank you guys for bearing with all the technical difficulties, both in the
Yeah.
lobby and here on the
He
stream.
disconnected.
God. Yeah. He used a stand.
He used a stand. Look, he disconnected.
See, that's what I did. Oh,
All right, and before we all start meowing and pissing off Geo,
yeah.
I think we're gonna say we're gonna call it here on the Arena 51 Twitch channel. Thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you guys next time.
goodbye.
She wanna back it up, I do my two-step. Then we go round and round like a carousel. When it's party time, yeah, we go all out. 'Cause I'm that party girl, without you I don't